Welcome to the Powerline Podcast, the official podcast of GreyStone Power. I'm your host, Adam Elrod. On this month's episode, we're talking about GreyStone's strategy when it comes to electric vehicles. So let's jump right on in to episode number 10 of the Powerline Podcast. At GreyStone, we work hard to be on the cutting edge of the technology in the electric utility sector. A newer technology that is beginning to become prevalent is electric vehicles, also known as EVs. Two men who are working on the EV front for GreyStone are Manager of Special Projects, Paul Wood, and Manager of Residential Energy Services, Drew Hook. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Adam.
Drew, you now hold a record for being the only two-time guest on the Powerline Podcast. And for members who haven't already checked out episode 4 to learn about Drew and his department, I would highly suggest that you go back into the archives and learn more about saving money and saving energy. But Paul, it's your first time with us. So can you give our members a little background on what your job entails at GreyStone and your history in the electric co-op world?
Well, I'm the manager of special projects at GreyStone. My whole working career has been for electric cooperatives. I've worked in Oklahoma and Louisiana and Georgia through my career. I have served as the president and CEO of the largest electric cooperative in Louisiana for several years and have been president and CEO of the statewide trade associations for electric cooperatives, both in Louisiana and Georgia. I retired in Georgia in 2016 and spent a couple of years relaxing and enjoying life and just got tired of not doing anything that was productive. And I missed the people in the electric cooperative. And one day I was having a conversation with GreyStone's president and CEO, Gary Miller, and he discussed bringing somebody on board to work on a number of different projects that he saw coming up for GreyStone Power, one of them being electric vehicles and supporting our members in electric vehicles. So as a result of that, I've been here for about a year and a half now and have really enjoyed working with the associates and the members at GreyStone Power and look forward to my time here.
As we get into a discussion about our EVs and knowing that they are becoming more and more popular with many major car companies adding them to their fleets each year, Paul, can you talk a little bit about GreyStone's strategy in what's coming with EVs?
Well, you can't watch a news program or pick up a magazine or pick up your telephone and look at some of the news apps and see every day that there are new EVs that are coming off the production line, new EVs being proposed, school buses, city buses, a lot of fleets are going to EVs, and the EVs in our communities are growing on a daily basis, and I think that's in direct proportion to the range that an EV can travel without recharging. But GreyStone's primary focus has been just on supporting our members, and they're seeking information on EVs, trying to help them see what impact an EV would have on their lifestyle and what's available out there. One of the things that we've worked on, Drew and all of us here at GreyStone, is developing an EV section on our website. If you just go to GreyStonePower.com and look under the Value Center, you will find an electric vehicle button. And if you go to that, then you can get all kinds of information about electric vehicles. Which EV is driving an EV right for you? Does it fit your lifestyle? What kind of EVs are out there? What are the different models? It'll even help you compute the operating cost for an EV and show you a savings calculator as to what you can save over gasoline purchases. So it can talk about recharging times for the various EVs. So our purpose is providing information to our members and supporting their use of EVs. Our new office facility here on Hiram Douglasville Road, we've got charging stations for 4 EVs out in front of our administration building. Those are free for uh, members to come up and use to recharge their vehicles when they're doing business here at the office. So we're doing everything we can to promote vehicle energy efficient vehicles, electric vehicles, and to educate our membership about electric vehicles.
That's a great bit of information about what GreyStone's doing and how we're doing it, and really goes into my next question, thinking about the benefits. Drew, can you talk about some of the benefits of driving an electric vehicle?
Well, Adam, I think one of the first things that comes to mind with most people when talking about electric vehicles is that they're environmentally friendly. Um, Atlanta has been notorious for having some horrible traffic. So anybody that's ever sat in traffic in Atlanta has probably smelled the tailpipe emissions from another vehicle. And EVs don't have that. In fact, the environmentally friendly aspect of an EV is what drives a lot of people to it. Of course, you have the operating cost compared to a gas power vehicle, and you know today being May 11th and everything going on with Colonial Pipeline, I would say that people who have an EV are not worried about fuel cost at the gas pump. Um, there's benefits. A lot of people like that they provide a quiet, smooth operation. They have extremely strong acceleration capabilities, and overall, of course, across the life of that vehicle, um, there's less maintenance than a standard gasoline-powered internal combustion engine. And the biggest thing we're seeing now that really is driving people to them is the range at which people can travel with an electric vehicle versus 8 and 10 years ago when a standard vehicle maybe got you 100 miles. There's now electric vehicles that'll go 330 miles. So for someone that averages a daily round trip commute of 30 miles a day, owning an electric vehicle might be a great choice for them. So there's quite a few things, but I think the biggest thing is people like the fact that they're not putting gasoline in a vehicle and they're environmentally friendly.
Again, great points. That's why you two are the experts on EVs. Y'all both hit on range anxiety a little bit and how that's really dissipating because the technology is getting better. And Paul, to kind of go in the same vein that you were in a little bit ago, talking about helping our members out that are interested in EVs. Could you explain our EV rate and how it works for our members?
Well, again, in providing support for our members and encourage them to use electric vehicles, about a year and a half ago, we developed and work on a special EV rate for members of Greystone Power that would encourage them to use electric vehicles. And um, if again, if you go to our website and the electric vehicle section, you'll come across a EV rate tab. Um, if you click on that tab, then you'll get information about our EV rate. It encourages people, most people that have an EV, drive them to work, they come home, and sometime during the evening, they plug them in and recharge them to be ready to go again the next morning. So our rate really encourages people to charge their EVs between 11 p.m. at night and 7 a.m. the next morning. We have a super off-peak rate during those hours that encourages them to do it during that period of time. We do have a part of that rate is an off-peak rate too. It's not as low as the super off-peak rate, but again, both of those encourage them to charge electric vehicles tonight at night when they're sleeping and not using them, and give them an opportunity to take advantage of the lowest possible rate in doing that. So again, if you go to our information site and click on that, and then you put your account number in, it will drive you to an application process that will give you information about your specific account, about your specific usage. It will end up with you having a phone call with one of our residential energy specialists and walk through the process and make sure this rate would be beneficial to you. But again, we put that rate out there just to support our membership and encourage the use of electric vehicles.
With an EV, you got a rate, but you also have to charge it. And we've talked about charging a little bit, but Drew, can you talk about and explain the different kind of chargers? Because there's different types that that are out there.
Sure, Adam. So the first thing that comes to mind is there are three uh, types of electric vehicle chargers, and those start with the first being a level one charger. All EVs come with a standard plug and cord with them that allows you to plug it into a regular outlet within your home in your garage. Um, those typically are the offer about 2 to 5 miles of range per hour of charge. So for someone who may not drive long distances during the day, that may work for them. But for someone who may drive a little bit further and wants a little bit faster charging capabilities, they have the level two charger. And typically that delivers about 10 to 20 miles of range per hour. Uh, Most of these are what you see inside homes, workplaces, and some public charging areas. And then the last is the DC fast charge. And those are what you're going to see set up at like shopping centers and things of that nature along major interstates that allow someone to come in, plug their vehicle. It will charge that vehicle to 80% of the battery capacity in about 20 to 30 minutes of charging time. So that gives them, 60 to 100 miles just in that 20 to 30 minutes time. And that's what you're seeing popping up in Douglasville in our territory. There's one that Tesla's put in by the Target. But you're starting to see more of those. But we encourage people to uh, look at level two chargers for their home just because it does provide a little stronger charge and a faster charge time for the member.
Staying on that idea of a level two charger, recently we rolled out a brand new charger rebate. Drew, would you mind explaining that to our members?
Absolutely, Adam. So back on March 1st, we announced a level two electric vehicle charging rebate. And what we're doing is we're providing members who install a level two charger in their home. Uh, we're offering them $250 rebate. There are a few restrictions that apply, but it's very simple to apply for this rebate. We require proof of installation, being a photo, a receipt for the purchase of the charger, and the last thing is we just require that it's UL rated. That way, we're ensuring that the chargers that members are putting in their home, that they're putting them in their home, uh, meet the standard that we want to see. But it's very simple. We've had a good bit of participation in the last month and a half, 2 months, and we hope to continue to see it grow.
So, gentlemen, the same last question goes out to everybody. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our members? And Paul, I'll start with you if you don't mind.
Well, Adam, at GreyStone Power, we take great pride in our member service. We're a member-owned electric cooperative, and we want to do everything that we can to support our members. Electric vehicles is just one of the ways that we do that. So I hope if anyone that's hearing this podcast that we can be a benefit to them or provide them additional information, that they'll please call us at GreyStone Power.
And Adam, I'll just add to what Paul said earlier in the podcast that Greystone values itself on being a trusted and reliable source of information. And the site we put together on our website for members to go about information on electric vehicles is a great tool for our members to use. And again, we just encourage anybody that has any questions to reach out to us. We're happy to assist any way we can.
Guys, I cannot thank y'all enough for being part of the podcast today and helping inform our members all about electric vehicles.
Thank you.
Well, that is all the time we have. Thank you for listening to this month's episode. Go ahead and click subscribe so you get each episode directly into your podcast feed every month. And if you don't mind, if you're listening on Apple, give us a 5-star review so other members will start to see the podcast in their feed as well. This has been the Powerline Podcast. Thanks for listening.